Welcome to Tennis Espresso Journal, your updated grades debate. If you got your coffee ready, let's gonna get down to the pages.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the OTA index. This index is particularly interesting because we do have a glance of the ATGs, and we're not looking into only the GOAT. This ranking system is basically trying to assess who is the best, who are the best players of modern present tennis, that you say. It means it is the tennis from 2000s up to now, so it's a very modern tennis. It doesn't even include the 90s, Sampras, Agassi, and Masters era. It doesn't even include that. It only takes from 2000 on because it's majorly based on rankings. So what this system does is that it really compares two aspects of a tennis player. So the first aspect is the dynamic one, and the other one is a static one. What do I mean by static and dynamic? Well, the dynamic one, it tries to capture the best seasons of players, regardless of what they have done throughout their careers. So it's much more based on what they can actually do during the time they are sort of peaking. So it basically picks up the best years of these guys and put them and say, look, when his guy was playing his best, that's what he could do. So this ranking focuses on the level of player that one player could show up in a season. The other aspect, which is the static aspect, it tries to picture the entire career of a player, but not exactly it's all of his seasons, but mostly the seasons in which he could play at a certain high level. So considering that player was not too young, not too old, and not injured, what could he do throughout the years? What is his consistency? So it doesn't, unlike the dynamic ranking, it doesn't picture what's the highest level of that player that one player could bring. It focuses more on the consistency of that high level. So how many years, how many seasons could that player, that specific player, sustain his level? And that's the static part. So the dynamic part is the level itself. The static part is the consistency. Okay, let's gonna check this out. So in order to fully understand the OTA ranking, the OTA index, we really should look into the best seasons in tennis. I mean, actually all the seasons since 2000s, and for that we're gonna make also a comparison with the 90s period, as you're gonna see. So whenever we take the rankings and try to find out what were the best seasons in tennis since 2000s, and why 2000s? Because that's when the ranking standards were stipulated and follow throughoutly. The 90s systems was not really that reliable. It changed 1 year to another year. The current ranking system is actually basic this 2000 system with the updating in 2009. So what are we looking in here? So this this listing tries to show us the percentage of total possible points won by each player during their seasons. So here are the 10 best seasons since 2000, since the year 2000. The 100% would mean that a player had won all big titles, excluding Olympics. So all big titles, they must include all 9 Masters. It's not all possible players, or it's not all possible tournaments that a player could play, but rather if a player had won all big titles in a season, which are 14 tournaments, how many points would he get? So, for example, if a player had gotten all those titles, all those 14 titles, he would have 9,000 points for the 9 Masters, 1,500 points for the ATP Finals, and 2,000 points for the Grand Slams. That would make 18,500 points